Yeah, Prem.
Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome back to CEO Pro Bono exclusive sessions. And as an interesting fact, before beginning the session, I'd like to say something. So the first experience sharing session which we did from as a part of COE was with Rohit Kumar Shah. So and here we are again with Rohit. So Rohit, I'd like to know about you, and I'd like also the audience let know about you. So how you doing? How the you took turns in your career, and how you improved and shined your skills. How it made you an outstander in terms of a beginner level, or which I can say transition level to an intermediate, or maybe a good skilled experienced professional. So before
Yeah,
I'd like to have your introduction from your words. But
sure. Thank you for that. And yeah, I did the very first session of COE. When I was offered a job from PwC, and we had a good interaction there. So I'm really privileged to get this opportunity again to connect with people and maybe share my experience, get their experience out of it. So hi everyone, I'm Rohit and I'm a senior consultant at PwC India in the advisory line of service. So my primary role is building financial models and doing some data analysis and visualization kind of a thing. And yeah, this is in very just the day-to-day work. But of course, with the evolving AI and with the evolving the entire domain of technology, we are trying to equip ourselves with that also. So I'm sure that most of you here are mm, joining this session for the understanding on the finance of it, of what actually financial modeling and FMBA course is all about, right? So before I jump into that, I want to maybe get a very quick idea on, have we ever tried to understand what our career goal is? So it is very important, and I would like to emphasize on this because this is something what Arun, I know, I think everybody knows about him. So he asked me that what you are actually trying to focus on, or what you are trying to come up with in your career is something important. Someone says, मैं तो data analyst बन जाऊंगा, right? But data analysis is a wide domain. From there, you have to pick certain skills. You have to pick certain trajectories. जिसको specialize करना is very important. And this is what I tried. So when I joined PwC during my initial stages, I was little dicey कि मैं whether I will be able to survive in this finance domain. So talking about my educational background, I have done my master's in applied economics from Jawaharlal Nehru University. So economics and finance, though are correlated, but has very different domains, correct? So this is how we started. When I joined, since I consulted with multiple people, how finance works, because I was very new to this. I really had no idea कि आगे जाके होने क्या वाला है. And I have been in this domain since 1 year, 10 months now. And truly speaking, I'm enjoying it right now. So yeah, this is all about me right now, Prem. यही है status. Everything going fine. So anything specific? Should I start with FMBA and all?
so when did you join COE, Rohit? Exactly. I guess it was in the beginning of 2023, right?
Correct. So I think it was the initial stages of COE when it was evolving. So I got connected via Arun, and then this COE was in a very preliminary stage at that point of time, and I've seen it grow a lot. Don't could not give much time here, but yeah, I joined it during the early 2023.
Yeah. So, as in as a member of COE, even from the early stage, so could you just explain us, or maybe what are the key points which you have learned through COE, or maybe the fellow members of COE, or whatever, like which helped in your career in the initial stage, like when you were just trying to uh, change or transition your career into data analyst or maybe financial analyst?
So I answered this in my very first session also, and I will give the same answer. Whatever you see right now in Rohit is because of COE, and that is what I do. It's a huge thing to say, but yeah, I would say the same thing again and again because I was in college. I was really afraid. You all might be knowing that 2023, 2022 post-COVID situations were like job market is very dicey. People are losing job. It's very difficult to find a job as a fresher. So I connected with Sanjay, then I connected with Arun. They have groomed me a lot, and the entire COE. You from starting point, like building a resume till getting a job, the entire span. I always give credit to COE, and I have a huge respect for this entire center of excellence because it's a very you're give, you're preparing people to get jobs. You're preparing people not only to get jobs but to enhance your skills, right? So this is something I've always said. What Rohit is right now is because of COE. Of course, there is a effort which I have also pushed on, but the way the vision has been created because of this entire cohort.
Thank you for your kind words, Rohit. And like, yeah, that's like, it's very I liked how appreciable your words are. So, like moving forward, like when you started your career or when you start in early stage of your career, so what are the key skills which you thought you could gain, or maybe which are so important for you to get a job, or maybe to dive into this analytics field? Because out there is so much overwhelming information, so many people get confused with this information, because if you suggest that maybe tools like Tableau could help, if you suggest like you should directly jump into the data engineering, you also reject the thought of even getting transitioned into this analytics field, because one should only go to this whatever the main domain which they are currently working, such as marketing or finance, and they could get kindly demotivated something. So how did you cope up with it, and what are the key skills which you learned, and what would you suggest for the newbies or the aspirants, the current aspirants for now?
So the college I was in, it was a research oriented. Everybody knows JNU is a research oriented college. So people, since I was doing masters there, so the professors and everybody was like, go for PhD. But in my mind, it was clear that I'm not going to do PhD any further. हो गया बहुत पढ़ाई कर ली है. Now something अब job करना है, ठीक है. And when your college, if it is a off-campus kind of a thing, it becomes really important to gain certain skills which are actually prevalent in the market, right? So during that time, I made up my mind like I will try to go for some data analyst kind of a role. But again, when I say data analyst, it's a wide domain. I have to pick up certain skills. Maybe it can be, as Prem was mentioning, Tableau. It can be Power BI. So in terms of data visualization. If you are trying to go for a data engineer role, you have to know SQL, you have to know Python. So that is very important because that will actually frame how you are going in your career. The domain is wide, but you have to pick certain skills which is prevalent in the market. ऐसा नहीं कि अभी मैं SAS लेके बैठ जाऊंगा. Though SAS is important, but it is getting discarded day by day with the evolving power of Python, Alteryx, and all those things. Correct. So it is very important to research on your own कि कौन सी टूल अभी मार्केट में बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड में है और
Exactly.
यू कैन ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट कि क्या फ्यूचर में डिमांड में आने वाला है.
Exactly.
So that is something which I tried. I went through it. मैंने बहुत रिसर्च किया. मैंने बहुत लोगों से बातें की who are already there in the job market to understand what happening in their firm. क्या चीज की डिमांड है. And again, the important thing becomes कि you have gained the skill. It's not just कि आपको एक certification करना है. I have done a particular certification and it's over. When you sit on an interview, you will be judged on everything. You will be tested on everything. बस वो certification दिखाने से काम नहीं करेगा. So that is what I try to do. Yeah.
Correct. So, Rohit, is it still tough for anyone who is currently willing or trying to change their careers or their domains to analytics. And where should one start? Like, should someone try starting with an Excel or any visualization tools, or should they directly jump into the ETL or SQL query related applications or softwares?
See, to this, we all know ChatGPT has the power of ChatGPT, right? So if you are actually trying to switch to a or transiting to a data analyst kind of a role which requires analytic skills, problem solving becomes very important. ठीक है. So when I'm saying problem solving, कोडिंग अब कोई भी कर सकता है. Not to quote unquote कि engineers are of course better than people who will be transiting it from a normal finance या कोई और role से to a data analytics role or data engineer role. But yeah, coding is something now a preliminary thing. We have to work on our problem solving skills. We have to work on कि कैसे अप्रोच करना है किसी प्रॉब्लम को. I have done a course in named Google Data Analytics and Professional Certification, something like that. So they gave a very brief idea on how to actually frame your entire analysis. सबसे पहले it's very important, as you are saying, there are multiple tools. SQL हो गया for cleaning data, transforming data, everything. Then the data storage part. Then we have Python, Excel, and all to see and code the data and everything. But the major part is you have to go step by step. Start from the very basic. It can look कई मेरे को अगले एक साल में इतना कुछ कैसे कर सकते हैं, या मेरा इंटरव्यू है 2 महीने में 3 महीने में और आई एम ट्राइंग टू ट्रांजिट. बट इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू कीप योर बेसिक्स क्लियर. whenever you are being giving an interview, it will be mostly on the basics. कोई आपको हार्ड कोड एक टूल बनाने नहीं दे देगा एक घंटे के इंटरव्यू में. तो आपको बेसिक्स बहुत ही ज्यादा क्लियर रखने पड़ेंगे. दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग. एंड अगेन, none of the skills means for me I have been saying to everyone कि कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है कि it's impossible. Whether you are from any background, अगर आप scratch से start करते हो, you can pick up anything at any pace. ठीक है. Just the motivation should be there कि हाँ मुझे करना है. That is something very important. But yeah, today, as I said, I am from economics background, non-tech background completely. But recently, I have developed a tool in my firm, जो कि completely Microsoft Azure और Python में बना है. How can I do that? Because I had that passion. I had a basic understanding of the coding. I have taken help from GenAI tools and feel free to use GenAI to the extent possible. It's not at all the same कि आप ChatGPT करते हो. हाँ है tool तब कर रहे हैं. That's the thing.
Well said, Rohit. So, like, one should be getting an efficient knowledge in one's own domain, such as like maybe finance or marketing, whatever they are currently working, and then learn the skills or whatever, understand which skills would opt to get them a certain position which they are currently seeking, right?
Correct. Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
like, I've seen your portfolio, Rohit, when you are applying for the jobs. So, would it be possible, is there to show us your portfolio with like if any projects have been updated in that, or how would you suggest one to maintain the project portfolio so that to get shortlisted, and how that would be a plus, an additional add-on benefit for anyone who is currently applying for interviews?
Yeah, a very important point, Prem. So portfolio is something really important, which will help you outstand among the other people who are going for the interview. Because this is something which you can make up as a story throughout your interview, right? So suppose you have done multiple projects, be it at college level, at a personal level, anything. Try to showcase it in that way, ताकि आपका जो पूरा इंटरव्यू है ना वो प्रोजेक्ट एंड पोर्टफोलियो के ऊपर ही घूमता रहेगा. And of course, that you have done that project, you have done that particular analysis and everything, you will be much more confident rather than like HR question type की कौन सा what was your biggest achievement or something like that. So why not do that? So I tried always to keep that thing in my mind, and maybe I can show one of my portfolio जो उस टाइम का था. Give me a second, I will share my screen. Yeah. So during that stage of my job search and job hunt, I tried to do multiple things. Some One of them was creating my own website. It's a good thing to try out क्योंकि if you are going for a data analytics kind of a role, वो लोग देखेंगे कि यार आप कर सकते हो कुछ नया ट्राई कर सकते हो. So that is what I tried. Though it was a free version, something like that. इसलिए I tried to build it in a website.com. वैसा कुछ एक website चल रहा था उस समय. So maybe I can show you the project portfolio. Yeah. So this there. Yeah.
You have a wide range of skills, analytical skills. So I can see there is Tableau and Excel, R, Python, SQL. Interesting.
एग्जैक्टली सो द वे प्रेम इज सेइंग राइट नाउ कि इट्स इंटरेस्टिंग. ये सेम जो आपके इंटरव्यू लेने वाले होते हैं, दे विल, अगर आपका शॉर्टलिस्ट हुआ है सीवी आफ्टर द रिज्यूमे इज बीइंग स्क्रीन्ड एंड एवरीथिंग इज डन, दे विल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड देयर एप्लीकेंट्स. तो उस समय अगर आपके पास कुछ स्टैंड आउट करने के लिए है, दे विल ट्राई टू सी व्हाट योर प्रोफाइल इज ऑल अबाउट. जैसे सीवी लोग पढ़ते हैं, अगर आप सीवी के टॉप में ही दे दिए कि आपको अगर किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में if you want to see any of my project work or anything like that, they will of course go to that. It can be not, it is not at all necessary कि आपको एक वेबसाइट बनाना है. Exactly not necessary. But the thing is that you should have maybe a OneDrive, a Drive link you have provided in your resume where you actually showcase all the things in a folder maybe. So what will happen in that case? Suppose you have applied for some data analyst kind of a role. They will read this particular thing of yours, the factors affecting employee attrition, और एक्सप्लोर करना है अंदर जाके और देखेंगे. एंड देन इन दैट प्रोजेक्ट, इन दैट इंटरव्यू बेसिकली दे विल ट्राई टू आस्क यू सिमिलर थिंग्स जो यहाँ पे है. तो इससे आपकी हेल्प ही होगी. इट विल हेल्प यू बिकॉज you have done this particular project. You can frame your own story. How have you done that? They are not going to see what results you have come up with, whether it is correct or wrong, but they will try to understand your approach because that is what they need in their firm. So this is something important, and I have always said कि yeah, maintaining a portfolio is really really important. And if you see, I've tried to make the portfolio little diverse. किसी एक particular topic पे नहीं, not only on a particular skill. I have tried to make it diverse, and whether it is a, so some of them are visualization, some of them are, if you can see, a Power BI report, some are a, like pure time series analysis, something which I've done during my college days. So this is something everybody should try out, and trust me, this is really gonna help. I have given in number of interviews. हर एक इंटरव्यू में everything revolved around my portfolio, which I have shared with the HR team or the team where the place where I have applied for a job.
So one thing I'd like to mention, Rohit, like by just seeing the outline of your website or the project portfolio, can seriously assure you that it's gonna be really tough for anyone to compete with you with having this much diversity of project portfolio. As I can see, there is versatility in your projects and also the diversity of your skills, and it is so amazing that you have built this portfolio website in such an organized way. And if someone like a recruiter or even for HR or even anyone who is looking at your currently the project portfolio is gonna definitely like it.
Exactly, thank you, Prem. But it is wrong to say that anyone can't compete with me. I
No,
think
it's gonna be tough. I'm not saying anyone can't compete. I'm saying that I can assure you that it is going to be tough for anyone who is willing to compete with you, or if someone who is applying for a job, and if you are applying for the same job, then it's gonna be tough for that guy because as I can see, the first thing which anyone notices is you have an organized portfolio. Point one. And the second thing is like you have diversity in your experience in your skills, right? And also the third thing would be like how well you have diversified your projects in terms of the domain. So this shows like how creative you could be, how in depth your knowledge could dive into, and how much efforts you can take to build something for yourself and also to improve. So this would be a definitely like it's not a statement to write in your resume that I am a strong thinker, I am a creative thinker, I can do effort. So this is not how one can prove something of their character in their resume, but the portfolio itself, the work, the efforts, and the result itself shows something.
Exactly, yeah. So that is what, when you say I'm a creative thinker, I am in your resume, or I am a XYZ kind of a person, actually you have to show something to prove that. And that is why I tried in my initial days, yeah, if I'm writing similar kind of words, lines, or if I'm stating something during my interview, I actually have something to back it up. And this is very important. And again, Sanjay Chandra, if you see his website also, this is actually, I have tried to build on his lines. He only suggested me, why don't you try to build a website if you have such a good profile? So I tried to take his suggestion, and yeah, the results are here. I'm doing great here. And this is not a one-time investment. I mean, of course, it's a one-time investment, but the results are throughout your life. You can add n number of projects here. जब भी आपको कोई switch चाहिए, जब भी आपको कोई transition चाहिए, you can easily showcase the similar kind of thing. ये और upgrade होता जाएगा. Your portfolio will never be constrained to one particular year or one particular job. So yeah, that helps throughout your life.
Yeah, that's true. Also, for the audience, could you share this link so that they can go through, or maybe if someone texts you, I'm expecting that where you could like where you could help them at your availability.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I will be happy to share that.
So, how's your current profile, Rohit? Like, what are the key responsibilities you share under your current role or current position, and what are the skills or the tools which you use regularly?
So right now at my firm, the since you might be knowing that financial modeling, we try to build it for the clients so that they can have a feasibility study of certain projects, certain tenders, or something they are trying to acquire or something like that. So for that, we have to build a model, and financial modeling is something which is very transparent if you build it on Excel. So Excel is a very, very important skill, and truly speaking, Excel can do wonders. After using it for 1 year and 10 months now in my firm, I have understood what actually is the importance of Excel. Many people ignore कि अच्छा Excel ये तो आता है. Actually आप जो सोच रहे हो उससे भी वो कई गुना ज्यादा कर सकता है. That is something which I have learned. So yeah, Excel is the primary tool which I am right now using. But again, if you have seen, I am not sure whether everybody has got an update like that. Excel has been integrated with Python. So it makes Excel much, much, much more powerful than what it was maybe a year ago. So this is something I'm using. Of course, there is a revolution going on AI with the Gen AI and all those things. So I'm driving innovation in my team, and for that I'm needing multiple such tools like Python. I'm using Power BI. I'm using Azure to a extent possible. Then of course Visual Studio and all to design website and all. So yeah, these are the some basic tools which I'm using right now in my day-to-day work. And to tell you, it's very difficult to handle client work and to innovate or do some internal work also to bring in efficiency within the firm or within the team, right? So that is why time management becomes very important. Whether you are preparing for a new job, whether you are actually you're working and parallelly looking for a transition, time management becomes very, very, very much important. तो प्लीज ट्राई टू फ्रेम योर इंटायर डे इन सच अ वे कि आप कुछ नया सीख के ये हर दिन जा रहे हो. You are learning one new thing every day. That is really important. Might seem I'm giving a motivating or motivational kind of a speech, but yeah, you have to look like that. What new I have learned today, and every day I'm trying to learn one additional thing. Maybe it's a single syntax, कोई एक नया चीज, or maybe a very basic, very basic. I'm trying to learn every day because learning never stops. So yeah.
Okay. Rohit, can you please throw some light on financial modeling and valuation cert you have cleared? Like if a person wants to go for that cert, how he can enroll and what are the like procedure and everything?
Yeah, so FMBA certification is one of the valued certificate in the market right now, especially when you go for financial modeling or a valuation kind of a role. So FMBA, which stands for Financial Modeling and Valuation Analyst, it is being offered by CFI. I think the full form is Corporate Finance Institute, and this CFI is highly recognized by most of the firms, be it the Big Four or some audit firms like that. Now, the key highlights of FMBA are like it is not only a theoretical course; it is a real world application of what you do. So when I say real world application, there will be multiple case studies. When you actually opt in for FMBA certificate, there will be multiple case studies, which are actually a real world applications of what we have seen. It can be a solar tender. And okay, I should first give you a brief on what actually financial modeling is. So financial modeling is nothing but we design a model for the clients or for the stakeholders so that they can analyze or they can forecast the future of their particular project or whatever they are actually trying to figure out, right? So FMBA is something which is designed to help finance professionals to develop skills on financial modeling or valuation. And of course, the decision making and problem solving skills comes into the picture. One good thing about FMBA is it is self-paced and online, especially for professionals like us who hardly get time during the weekdays. Something which is self-paced helps us so that we can work on it or we can study or go through the course during the weekend. So this is one important thing. As I mentioned, it has an industry recognition. It is very important or widely recognized in investment banking, private equity, corporate finance, and maybe equity research also, all those kind of a role. And one good thing about FMBA is it just not only teaches you financial modeling, but also teaches you how you can automate or basically some technical aspects of finances also. Like if you can automate certain kind of things. So those things are also being covered here. Why it is important, if I have to say, you get a hands-on modeling skill. You are actually, it will help you get, means for my case, it will help me get promotion, job switch, or a higher salary because it's really a credible kind of a thing. But don't just confuse between FMBA and CFA. Both are completely different things. FMBA will give you a very basic but a strong foundational background on finance. CFA is a much tougher and a high level kind of a course. So if anyone is trying to go to a finance domain, I would first suggest that try out FMBA. पहले तो try out understanding what is finance and everything. But first try out FMBA and then go for CFA. If you are actually finding it interesting, then go for CFA because CFA requires a little bit of more motivation and dedication. But FMBA में क्या है कि it's a 3 months kind of a course. So you will spend around 200 hours in total to complete the entire course. Try not to skip. Since it is an online, people have a tendency to skip modules, go to directly to give the test. Try not to do that. Because the way the professors and everyone will be explaining things will make you give real world example, but the examples they will take and the way they will explain is really a world class kind of a thing. So, and maybe I can share my screen to show you what actually a brief overview of what it is. So, okay. So as I was saying, so FMBA is, consists of 33 courses, but you don't have to do all the 33 courses to earn a certificate. You can easily go through the prep course. Now, this is an optional course, but I will highly recommend anyone who is starting from scratch on finance to go through this all the videos because it will make your basics very clear. Even if you are from a finance domain or finance background, still you can try it out because it will help you refine or revise your whatever understanding you had on finance. And if you can see, the major thing which they will teach you is the Excel skill. And it is really important because most of the financial model across Big Four, across the Big Three, McKinsey, and everywhere, they use Excel only because it is the most transparent tool right now in the market. Now, there are certain core courses which are compulsory courses. You have to complete each of them. And trust me, the hours you spent on these courses will actually make you feel, yeah, it was worth spending time on these courses. So you will get a very basic idea of how what are the modeling aspects, what are the three statement model, what is valuation, and everything. And then there is something called elective course. There are 9 elective course. You are actually asked to complete three so that you can go to the next step. But I would suggest if you have time and if you're really interested, go through all of them. It is actually talking about each and every sector. So if you start from mining, if you are interested in mining, you get a financial modeling course on mining. If you are interested in startup, e-commerce, if you are interested in maybe real estate, so you will get a, as I was saying in the earlier part also of this session, and Prem was also mentioning that we have to be diverse in our thought process. If you are diverse, you will be able to speak in front of the person who is taking the interview, right? So this will give you a wider domain and a better understanding of the sector also. And FMBA course is a sector agnostic course. It is, and in fact, the financial modeling itself is a sector agnostic skill. So that is why it is one of the most demanding skill right now in the market. Finally, you will have a case study. It's saying 2 hours, but you might spend more than this because if you really want to understand the particular aspect like renewable energy, it's a very good thing to go do this case study. It will help you a lot. And then you have a final exam where you have to earn 70% of the 70% break to crack it. And if you are unable to get 70%, you have to wait for 1 month. After that, you can reapply in terms of the exam. You can again give the retest. And if you are actually cracking it, then you get the certificate. So it's all about the FMBA course. In terms of difficulty, I would say if you are from a finance background, you will find it not so difficult, a moderate kind of a thing. But if you have started from scratch, again, till the point you reach this case study, you will be very confident to give this final exam. But make sure you watch every video, try not to skip it because if you skip it, the final exam is actually a testament of what you have studied or what you have learned throughout this course. So yeah, in terms of difficulty, it is on a moderate side. I won't say it's very easy. I won't say it's very difficult. But if you spend enough time, the span they have said around 200 hours, it is not a big deal to crack.
Okay. And what would be the fees for this course?
Okay, so right now I can see when I applied for it, it was around $253, which rounded off to 29K, 30K. Worth paying for it because it not only give you access to one course, FMBA course, it will give you access to other courses also. So if you are able, and it will be for a tenure of 1 year. So if you are able to crack FMBA say within 3 months, you can shift to some other courses also, maybe a specific sector specific course, and you can do that. That will be again within that $253 itself. The $253 I'm saying was because they provided a 40% discount on overall. At that time, there was a discount rolling out, and I think it's throughout the year. Every time it is 40% discount for everyone. So you guys can go ahead with it. And this 30K, you will understand at a later point of your stage that it was worth giving because you have gained something out of it.
Okay. For like a person who is like a fresher, do he need to have a prior knowledge of something to start this course?
No, so the very best part of, means I have to say, is of FMBA is that if you are a fresher, if you don't know anything about FMBA or maybe you don't know how to use Excel even, FMBA is the course which you can look upon because it will start from the basic. As I was saying, there was a preparational course. Generally, courses like CFA and all, they give us a pre-read kind of a thing or a prerequisite for to opt for this course is that you have to know Excel, you have to know some finance and everything. There is nothing like that in FMBA. You can easily opt in for it. There is a preparational course which is optional. If you are a fresher, you can actually go through each of the videos of that optional preparational course. And if you have already having finance background, you can opt out. But I highly recommend go through that. It hardly takes, if you are a fresher or if you are from finance background having some expertise, it will hardly take you a week to go through the entire stuff, and that will train you for the other elective and courses.
Okay. As you said, like, don't a person need not to miss the classes. So are these live or the recorded versions?
No, no, these are all recorded versions. So when I was saying that you should not skip or miss the classes, I was intending to say that don't put it on 2x or 1.5x and then just try to complete it, or maybe you can go to the end and then say it's marked as completed. That option comes, right? So don't do that. Try to watch it thoroughly throughout. क्योंकि हर एक कोर्स के बाद there will be, हर एक मॉड्यूल के बाद there will be some quizzes and there will be some interesting case studies that whatever you have learned will help you in that field.
Okay, got your point. Okay. So what are the challenges you faced during like completing this course?
I started it on in the month of August last year. So I won't say there was any challenge as such. Everything was smooth in this course. But if I think it from a fresher's perspective, because already after 1 year of financial modeling, I started this course. So I had a very brief idea on how it works, how it should not. But the challenge you might face is again on the Excel part of it, because they will follow some standards. As I mentioned, if you skip any one video or maybe turn it as marked as completed or something like that, you might lose out on what standard they were following. So in PwC, we follow some sort of standard when we are building financial modeling. So the standard they were following was little difficult for me to grasp because it was a different standard altogether. So in that case, I used to skip it, but later I realized that if I skip it at the ultimate exam, I will fall. I will be in a bad situation, right? Because in that, the questions will be also in the same standard. So in terms, if you're a fresher, it will be less difficult rather than if you're already a professional who knows certain kind of standards. Like there are some fast standards, there are some best GST standard, all those standards which are used to develop a financial model in Excel. So if you already know that, you might find it little challenging to get accustomed with FMBA standard. But apart from that, I don't think it will be at all a problem. There is a community also where you can post question and they will revert in maybe an hour or so. So that really helps if you're stuck at somewhere or if you're not able to understand a certain topic or logic. In that case, it helps you a lot.
Okay, got your point.
Okay. Before moving forward, are there any questions from the audience as well? Mohit, Asif, Venugopal.
Uh, how you have managed, have you done self-study?
Yeah, it was a self-study. So basically, I have opted in for this course because I wanted to understand more or I wanted to get a deeper knowledge on finance domain. So it was a self-paced course. So that is what we have to do before the exam. So suppose you have completed all the things and the day of exam, there means the day of exam is like you have to select which day you are going to give the exam, and that's also online. But I would suggest that before giving the exam, take a 1 week break, revise everything what you have done till now. You might forget some of the logics concept that they have taught, right? So a week or two time will give you a handsome amount of revision and then go for the final exam. Because for me, it was like I can't give a retest. I can't wait for 1 month. So if you don't want to wait for another month, give a gap after your final case study submission and the main day of exam so that you can revise the logic. And once that is done, you can give the exam. So yeah, self-study is something important. Yeah. Did I answer your question, Asif?
Yes, thank you, Ruby.
No problem.
Mohit?
Nothing from my end. Thanks for all the insights, Rohit. That was a great session. I hope you answered most of the questions which people find it difficult.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Rohit, could you also show us your LinkedIn profile and also like just brief about your future aspirations? Like, what is your next step ahead? Like, since you have just completed a milestone, which I can say completed a certification, completed a milestone, and gained good experience in your field, and have a nice hold on this technical skill set. So, what is your next step?
Yeah, so as a part of my next step, I'm planning to go for CFA. So hope if everything turns out well, I will start it maybe in the month of April or so, because CFA is something where actually people have to give a lot of dedication, time, and it is a difficult course to complete, a certification to complete rather. So yeah, my aim is to give a CFA exam, at least start with level 1. But one important thing to all the audience, that always try that एक महीने में, if it is a span of 1 month, upskill yourself. Upskilling is never a, has never a end. So I'm also planning to upskill my technical knowledge. Right now, I'm doing BI, I'm working with Azure and all those things. But these things also evolve with time. Or maybe if you are building, if you're good at Power BI, you can build dashboard. You know how to handle Power BI. Maybe you can take a step further to go deeper in Power BI and maybe enhance your visualization skill. So this is also something I'm looking forward to. Like whatever skill I have gained till date, maybe I can uh, upgrade myself to a level higher. So yeah, and regarding my LinkedIn profile, so I will present my screen again. Okay, hopefully my screen is visible. So as I say, it's very important to keep a professional picture. Many people will keep some background में garden है, background में something weird is there, right? This is LinkedIn is not Instagram, guys. LinkedIn is LinkedIn, where people search, finds you to give you job, to think about you if you are a good fit in their firm or something like that. So try to keep it professional. Cover page, you can keep it anything. Right now, I've given PwC's picture. Try to handle this about section very wisely. This is something which will actually give the person who is visiting your profile a brief idea of what you are, what you do, and what you have done. So be very wise and try to keep it as neat and to the point as possible, the entire about section. Coming back, as I said, if you click on this link, you will be redirected to my portfolio, which I showed earlier. So that is also something important, and it can give a good impression to the people who is visiting your LinkedIn profile, or who is trying to, if you have submitted your CV, if they are trying to look for you, it's something very a good habit or good practice to have. I don't know whether this is a premium feature or what it is, but maybe everybody has it. So try to keep all the achievements, and if something unique you have done, be it a certification you have done or something like that, I try to keep it all in featured sections. If you see, my FMBA certification is also in the featured section, because sometimes the HR or the director who will be taking your interview doesn't have much time to scroll over all your posts and see what you have done, what you haven't done, right? So this featured section will give them an idea of the best highlights of your throughout your career or throughout your professional, or maybe the learning phase of yours. So this is something important which I try to maintain a lot. I only keep those things. I do post on GenAI, and I do post on some technical aspects and something like that. But the featured ones should only be on what you want to show. So this is something which I try to keep The major thing is that keep your LinkedIn updated. Don't at all keep it, matlab, sit with your LinkedIn maybe twice a month to update it, whatever you have learned, whatever you have gained, maybe the technical skills, maybe in terms of job, in terms of any other domain, educational background, whatever it is, try to keep it up to date. Here you can see all the certifications I have done. It can be the basic one also, something which is not a certification like FMBA, or maybe some free services which I've done from DI on from LinkedIn itself. So try to showcase that also. That also adds to the value that you have done certain courses, you have the idea on the particular domain, topic, or skill. So uh, as you can see, either you can give the portfolio link or you can give the project detail here, or you can do the both the things. So I've done both. I've given the portfolio link above and the projects which I've done. These are not, of course, my professional projects. This is something which I did during my college days. So all those projects I have tried to keep updated here. Then comes the skills which you know, and this is something important because if you are trying to apply directly from LinkedIn, this skills matches with the resume's requirement or the role which they are looking for, and then your resume gets printed or your LinkedIn profile gets printed. So this is again something important, or someone who is trying to look, if a HR is trying to look some people who is good at VBA, they will search VBA, and if you have this skill mentioned here, might be there is a probability that your profile pops up. So this is also something important. Whatever skills you have, try to update it. These are some recommendations. If you have in COE, there are multiple eminent persons like Prem, like Arun, Akriti, and all. If actually you are doing good, they can also give you a recommendation on skills. Even I can give, or even I can get from you guys. So this is also important because people who are having more number of recommendation are something who are some are the people who are valued actually. Then I have honors and awards, the languages I know, and that's it. No hobbies like I know singing, I play cricket and all those things. It's a professional environment. Keep it professional so that people get to know about you for what they need you. They don't need your cricketing skills or they don't need your singing skills. They need your work. So that is something which I've tried to follow. Anything else, Prem? Maybe you want to emphasize on or something?
No, Rohit, it's good. Okay.
We got great insights from you, Rohit, and from your experience and also the challenges which you have tackled. So before concluding, uh, are we expecting any questions from Mohit or Venugopal?
Nothing from my end, Prem. Thank you.
I'd like to
Thank
hear
you.
Venugopal speak for some time.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Uh, yeah, Rohit. So how did you enjoy the session? Like, how did you feel about this session?
So I told Akriti also that I really want to contribute to COE, which have given me a lot of things, but due to my work pressure and everything, I was actually not able to. So thank you for this opportunity, and I will try to maintain this connection throughout. But COE is something close to my heart, so I always enjoy talking to people out here. Some of them also come up to me like if they can help, if they need help in resume or LinkedIn. So I really feel blessed to be a part of COE. And yeah, I really enjoyed this session. Thank you for this, where I can share my insights. Maybe if it can be a help to others.
Absolutely good. So also, Rohit, like, we have your expectations from you that you would be active in your availability, time of availability for COE. to share your insights or maybe any challenges which you are currently facing or like interesting ones, so that the fellow members of COE could also acknowledge the current expectations from the market.
Yeah, definitely. I will try to uh, maintain my availability as and when required. So that is what I was talking to Akriti also. I will try. The last couple of years was tedious, not couple of years, 1 year and 10 was tedious, so could not take out much time. But I think, yeah, we can work and we will try to find out a time whenever you guys need me, or maybe if I have something to share with the COE space and all.
Sure, Rohit. Thank you. Thank you for your interesting insights and taking out your time from your availability. And thank you everyone for joining the session. So we'd be glad to continue few furthermore sessions for COE and for the audience, as these sessions are pro bono and exclusive for the COE members. So try to attend it live. I'm appealing for every audience who is gonna watch this recording or a live video through our YouTube channel. Thank you once again.
Thank you.